So it strikes me funny that the world has so much opportunities, and yet most of us don't take advantage of those opportunities. They're really quite spectacular, but it takes a tremendous amount of work and a tremendous amount of time to actually get there. And I want to talk about that today. So, if you don't know me, I am Professor Dave Maslach. I'm an Associate Professor of Innovation Strategy and Entrepreneurship. And I created this whole reciprocity project to give back as much as I possibly can. There's so many people that help me out that I want to pay the favor forward to help you out. So it's kind of a long-standing debate. I haven't read the sort of research in entrepreneurship in the last year or so on this, and I know it's been evolving. I've seen sort of articles talking about this, but there's been a long-standing debate about whether opportunities for entrepreneurs are discovered or created. And in they're sort of talking about the idea that you sort of, one perspective is you wander along as an entrepreneur and then you sort of see an opportunity and it sort of pops out at you and you pursue that thing. Another one is that on the creative is that you sort of go through a process of what's called effectuation, or sort of one process anyways, where you're just kind of fascinated with something and you keep sort of making opportunities happen in front of you, in sort of what's called an endogenous way, where you're making things up as you go. And I think neither of them are really illustrating the picture very well. And I think they're misaligned actually, because they paint opportunities as more of like a very instantaneous thing. And really what it is a long grind. It's a long process towards you actually getting something. It's not very often where you could sort of exploit an opportunity and become wealthy overnight. I think that's sort of a silly mindset, to be honest. And it's still baked into entrepreneurship literature, because I think we're really fascinated. The entrepreneurship research literature is really fascinated with sort of quick win kind of stuff and, fast buck kind of stuff. The Silicon Valley sort of style of entrepreneurship is very much part of it. But what we have to stop doing is looking at that stuff and sort of realizing that it's a very slow, long grind. It's very, most opportunities are, they're not necessarily opportunities how we think about them, that they're sort of this instant thing, but they're this sort of gradual process of looking for things and pursuing those things and just kind of having fun with something, and then eventually you get rewards from that, because you could think of sort of these opportunities as, or you can think of business as people paying you tokens for making their life better, right? So that's what you're supposed to be doing with business. It's solving somebody else's problems, and then hopefully they'll give you tokens of some appreciation for making their life better, for the thing. And the more that you sort of solve their problem, the more that they're more willing to give you some sort of token of appreciation. So you have to think of that it's a gradual process of sort of discovering and coming to terms with what is that problem that people are willing for you to solve, to actually give you this token of appreciation. And it's not immediate at the beginning. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it comes really quickly, like cutting the grass, cutting somebody's grass, for example, babysitting, creating a pizza restaurant or something along those lines. They're very instant, but a lot of this stuff that, especially online opportunities, the sort of where it's going, where the business environment is going, digital environments, it's a gradual process. It's sort of discovering what those things look like, because it's usually those businesses that are online. They're kind of sometimes unique, sometimes they're not, but sometimes they're unique in the sense that they have something that is unique and different that other people are not offering. Um, and that has to be a lot more distinct, I think, in an online environment, a digital environment. So you have to wander for a lot longer before you discover something of what that actually looks like. So I think that's an important lesson, is an important thought, is know that it's not an instantaneous opportunity, and you don't necessarily discover or make up these opportunities like right away. It might take you several decades by the time you stumble on things, but the amount of opportunities that we have is 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 infinite, right? Like, you are discovering new things and pursuing new things. But not only that, now we have the compounding effects of digital technologies that are available, that are free to use, but um, people might not use them as much because there's other things underlying them, that make them difficult to use. But that effect, and the reason why it's compounding, the reason why it adds so much more oomph to it, is because it's always there, and it's always available for other people to peruse and see, and it's searchable. And so even when, I might write this right, or I might sort of talk about this right now, and I'm 42 years old, somebody's going to listen to this when they're 85 years, or when I'm 85 years old, and still get this information, still get insight. And so it constantly compounds and gives, a lot longer than something else that would have been in the same thing, years ago. So we have to remember that there's this infrastructure that is growing, that those opportunities. And the other thing that's important with the internet and sort of digital technologies is access of everybody's, um, sort of there's it allows people from heterogeneous backgrounds, or just different desires and thoughts, and have different ideas, to sort of meet up, much more easier, because it connects people. And so you can discover people that have sort of like-minded interests a lot easier than what you'd be able to if you lived in a small town. Um, so remember that that is an important thing. And the amount of opportunities that we have is pretty infinite, but it takes a long time and a lot of effort by the time you discover those things. Even if you're shoveling snow, it takes a long time, because you have to find your, clients. You have to sort of find how you're going to price point things. There's a lot of sort of small micro decisions that you make that really make a big difference on whether something grows and becomes more substantial. Um, so remember that. I think that's important. So with that, good luck on your entrepreneurial ventures. Take care. Have a wonderful day.